play. Welcome everybody into what is officially going to be the final best of 3 between these teams. It is going to be a great best of 3. We have UR.Slush spawning as the yellow Protoss in the bottom right. He is the ace for Underrated Gaming, and his opponent is going to be MYi.FantaSy, MYi.FantaSy. And by the way, right before we go ahead and get this in, guys, vote, because this is the most important match ever. It is zanderfever.tv/vote. And also a big thank you to MYi for his clan war, a big thank you to Underrated Gaming for his clan war, because this is officially going to be the final best of 3.
It definitely is, and you know, either way it happens. I'm going to say this right now, I'm proud of my guys. I might not say that a lot, but I'm definitely proud of them. And they have been sticking it out all season already. Even over 3 games in, and they're playing their hearts out. I mean, you noticed Ender brought it back for us, 2-2. And now it's in an ace match where it's anyone's game at this point, you know?
It really is. And we actually have both these players repeating their matchups that they did earlier in this clan war. Slush ended up winning 2-1 in a really crazy, actually, best of 3 against his opponent that we actually started out with and casted live, while the opponent for Fantasy was also a Protoss and Pinnacles, and Fantasy won a really unconventional best of 3 2-0. So both these guys have won their respective games in this matchup already, and I'm wondering what's going through their minds as they get to have a repeat of that again.
Well, honestly, Slush has always said one of his best matchups is PvT. PvZ he loves too, but his PvP is a little shaky every now and again, but he's an all-around solid player. Really, you know, Fantasy we saw just does some really wacky off-the-wall builds, but also Pinnacles tried some really wacky builds. So it works out to being, we'll see what happens here.
This is going to be really, really interesting. Fantasy so far has not thrown down any kind of gas. We're going to go ahead and just keep an eye on that, make sure that's going to be happening. And I'm kind of thinking about he's going to go for a pretty standard play. I think that's going to be what he's going for. It's what he was doing in the previous games. He does manage to kill Slush's scouting probe. Slush still does manage to do 15 damage to the Marine, but the command center is seen being thrown down by us, but not Slush.
No, I definitely do agree there. I like what Fantasy's doing. He is trying to get a faster expand, a little bit more money, shall we say, in quicker. But Slush also getting blocked here, and it's not taking a toll on him yet, because money-wise, he's still not at that magical 400 yet.
Yeah.
But this eBay has got a lot of life.
Yeah, and Slush, he just canceled that pylon. I think it was actually pretty close to being in the place where the Nexus is actually supposed to be. Doesn't want to go ahead and actually lose that, because if you remember, it was it Inori versus Revival in the Zotac Cup and like that?
No, it was Sepio. It was
Seplo? Oh, it was Seplo, okay.
Yeah.
Seplo versus Revival, I think it was. Seplo ended up losing the final game because he actually ended up accidentally blocking his Nexus, his natural expansion, with his force. He got forced to do weird, crazy cannon stuff to try and win the game, and it was a really sad loss to a great day of games. So even on the high level that these guys are on, you do see mistakes like that happen.
Oh, definitely. I mean, any game, I mean, you're just, the adrenaline's flowing and everything's going, and you just really want to get everything out that much quicker. You know, click, 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 as quickly as you can. And so if he misclicks on just one little thing, it can throw everything off for him.
Yeah, it can be an enforced situation. Now we do see Slush is poking forward with a Stalker. He sees the bunker, and he kind of can count the Marines there. Doesn't get to see the natural expansion, but it's looking very, very much like a gasless expand. He's already seen everything in. The bunker is kind of serving to confirm that, and Fantasy's now working on getting down his tech lab. Let's also take a note to the fact that Slush did a really kind of inferior 6-gate on this map when we did see him start out the previous PvT that he did play. And it was kind of a lackluster performance, so now we're going to see if he can go ahead and redeem himself. Notice how he did send his probes out quite early to his Nexus. He's already got probably 16 guys mining in his minerals, or yeah, very close to 16 guys. Now he'll get 16 with this additional probe. So he's already got perfect saturation as far as this can go. So that's a nice little bit of efficiency that we can take note of. Fantasy, on the other hand, has kind of done a very similar thing as well with his.
If you check, remember that failed 6 gate?
Yeah.
He's trying to redeem himself.
He is? Oh.
Look up top in his
face. He's going for 6 gate again. This I think is just a bad choice on this map. I can understand wanting to be aggressive, but look at the architecture of this map. We saw it play out before, but you can get a second bunker here easily. You've got a very unfortunate attack angle for the Protoss. You need to make sure that your zealots are getting covered by the Guardian Shield, but you inch forward here, you lose a lot of time attacking with some of the units that are in the back, and it can be hard to actually make sure that you have a concave to engage those units on the high ground. And in Fantasy, we see he's already starting his stim. It's halfway done, so it's going to be there in time to defend. And Slush, he's going to have to really make this worthwhile, and it's going to be a little bit hard considering the map.
No, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle at this point for Slush. I mean, there's a ton of Marines. There's no good news is there's no Marauders yet, though. So the first one really is just underway right now. So I think Fantasy sniffs something out. What do you think?
I think he's just playing normally. There's not really anything crazy. He's building a second bunker, but that could just be a perfectly standard thing to do. If we look at his vision, I don't think he's popped up and seen a lot. If he did pop up before, he saw sentries. I don't know if he was controlling the watchtower in the bottom or not. That could be a clear indicator. Unfortunately, I wasn't looking at the minimap at that point in time, but Slush is now going to go ahead and be aggressive with this build, but this is looking almost like a complete repeat of that first game we saw with Slush.
Yeah, this is getting very scary. That first game with Slush, I mean, maybe he redeems himself and gets the Guardian Shield on the Zealots. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, he needs to. I mean, absolutely has to.
Yeah, and there it is. The Guardian Shield is on the Zealots this time around. Much better execution this time around. Look at this. There are no SCVs to go repair. Those Zealots are taking so much damage. Really well done this time around. But now we see the Guardian Shield is done. The Zealots are no longer able to do much because they're not really alive anymore. But more forces are being thrown down. Slush has been incredibly aggressive. We have a reinforcement force of Zealots coming in. And this is looking to be a much better attack coming in from Slush. He's pushing in. The supply units are being raised, but they could easily get taken out. There we see the first one going down. Slush is going to continue being aggressive and pressing forward. We do have the first of the medevacs about to pop out. But all these Zealots, and Fantasy has officially left this game, giving Game 1 to Underrated Gaming.
Wow. So that's the difference between Guardian Shield and not